Hello students, this is Dr. Henry and I'm your instructor for OAD 125 Word Processing. This quick tips video is for Word Module 11 and as some of you may know, Word Module 11 is the last module that we're going to cover for this semester. On the left, I have the Word Module 11 project open, and on the right, I have the Word Module 11 training tutorial open. As always, start with your training tutorials. I'm going to click the menu button to expand the list. And again, we're going to learn a whole new set of features that will help us to perform a task in Word. For this particular module, we're going to add some additional features that are connected to the features we learned in Word Module 10. For those of you who may recall, Word Module 10 was where we learned how to create an online form. And in Word Module 11, we're going to add some additional features that help us to enhance an online form. So hopefully many of you may be familiar with online forms, and from time to time they may need to be edited, updated, refreshed to give them a better look. For businesses, some of the information might be outdated. You might change your business logo, you might change your colors. There are a lot of different reasons why you may need to update a form or enhance it to make it work better for you and your business, your employees, and your customers. All right, so some of the things that I want you to focus on in as you do your training tutorials would be macros. I'm not sure how many of you may be familiar with macros, but a macro is a preset instruction, and so it could be keystrokes or steps, click-through steps, and what Word does is collect them and put them in a format that can be automated or repeated without you having to do those steps again and again every time. It'll kind of do a preset instruction that you can activate whenever you want to perform that particular task, for example. One example could be, for example, the title of our community college, Lawson State Community College. If you were typing in a document and you had to type Lawson State a whole lot of times, that is a long phrase. You could create a macro to automate that step for you and reduce the number of keystrokes needed, for example. So that's just a small example of what you can do with macros. Now, if any of you out there are computer programmers or you do a lot of gaming or games online, you may be familiar with this concept. Other things, or let me say this, another note I wanted to call your attention to. Some of the things you're going to learn may look similar to things that we've learned previously, such as texture effects, page colors, and things of that nature. This time you're going to do those, but it's going to be in relation to an online form. So I do want you to make a distinction between what you've learned in previous modules and what you're going to learn here. Okay. And for the project, as it states, you're going to enhance an online form. And so enhancing can take the form of many different things. You could be changing wording. You could be changing colors. You could be updating graphics. So all sorts of things could be required, but it's going to be in relation to what you learned in your training tutorials. And because we're on the last module, I do want to state that you could get a project step from any of our earlier modules. So as we've been going, and I think I mentioned this in other videos, that as you go along in the Word modules, as we went from 1 to 2 to 3 all the way to 11, the system assumes that you have that knowledge of past modules when it asks you to do project steps. So if you ever come to a project step and for whatever reason you may not be sure about how to do that step, or you may have forgotten it, and you first go to the training tutorial for that module, for example. And if you don't see it in the list, it may be pulling from an earlier training tutorial, because the system assumes that by the time you get to Module 11, you've covered all 1 through 10 modules. However, with our SAM system, you can easily go back to any of the earlier training tutorials to look for the task that you're trying to do. And as always, I always like to remind students that at the end of the project is going to give you what the final figure should look like to help you along. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about any of our class assignments, please reach out to me via email at shenry@lawsonstate.edu. Again, this has been Dr. Henry, and thanks for watching.